What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning, put him in the longboat until he's sober, put him in the longboat until he's sober, put him in the longboat until he's sober. Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way.
I feel like this is going to be one of those videos where no matter what I say or how well I make my point or how bad I am at making my point, that doesn't matter. There's going to be a fundamental disagreement on like a base level here, and there's going to be a lot of people that just don't even want to hear me out. So this video is going to be kind of interesting, and more interesting than the video itself will be the comments section and hopefully the considerate and constructive conversations that will be going on down there. Now, in case you haven't heard, women are going to be in Battlefield 1's second DLC. I believe it's their second DLC. I'm not exactly sure, but there will be women in the next Battlefield 1 DLC. I believe if you play as a Russian scout, you play as a female. This video isn't about history, but it did exist, and I want to talk about my opinion on that. The way I look at them having women in Battlefield 1's multiplayer, because there were some women in World War I, is just kind of a way to put a magnifying glass and a highlighter over a small part of the history that a lot of people don't know. From what I can see, a lot of people are upset and talking about how this disrespects the men that died in that actual war. I don't see how putting a large magnifying glass over a small part of history detracts from the rest of it. And also, you could have a legitimate argument for it being a disrespect to the women that died in World War I by not having them in at all. Because there were women in World War I that fought and died for what they believed. That is a fact, you can look that up. Is it not disrespectful to not show them at all? I don't know if I should take those people very seriously. They are the same people that think that having black people in Battlefield 1 is for PC culture and is disrespectful to the actual war itself. African American soldiers and Afro-Germans existed in World War I. Not in the quantities that you're going to see them in the online multiplayer of the AAA video game, but they did exist. Isn't it a disrespect to history? Oh wait, no, I know what this is. Because there's so many gender identity and race identity, gender and race politics going on right now, and a lot of us have our spidey senses constantly going off, seeing if we're having an agenda pushed down our throat, the fact that these things actually happened, no matter in what amount, doesn't matter. The fact that it feels like it's an agenda getting shoved down our throat. The things that you're seeing when you see somebody upset about women in Call of Duty World War II's multiplayer, or women in Battlefield 1's next DLC, or the black people in Battlefield 1. What you're seeing is a lack of historical understanding, someone with a lack of understanding when it comes to marketing and demographics, or somebody that's probably just paranoid of that crazy left-wing agenda. Yes, there is a regressive left-wing agenda there. It exists, and some people love to preach it, and yes, it's there. It is a real thing, but I feel like the paranoia is almost worse than it itself. Almost. It's like when Force Awakens announced that the main characters were going to be a black guy and a white woman. So many people got upset, and I don't think it's because they were racist or sexist. They just have this, like, overbearing paranoia that there's an agenda going on. Well, diversity in and of itself is not a bad thing. When the lack of diversity therefore equals racism argument comes up, that's when people get scared, that's when people get pissed. Battlefield 1 only having white dudes, that's not racist. That's not a racist thing. And it's not a crazy left-wing agenda to have them in the game. You see what I mean? The people that cry sexist, bigot, racist as soon as there's not enough of one ethnicity in a film, or there isn't enough of this gender in this game, are just as bad as the people that scream liberal or we're being taken over every time a woman is in a game or is in a leading role. I feel bad for the people that have reviewed movies that have female leads and disliked the movie and were called a sexist. I also feel bad for the YouTubers that spoke in favor of women being a customization option in World War II's multiplayer and were called a crazy regressive liberal. Let's talk about it being a disrespect to history. This is something that holds no water, because I almost guarantee the people that are saying that having so many women or black people in Battlefield 1 is not historically accurate, therefore is a disrespect to history. I don't know if they did or not, but why didn't anybody get mad over Wolfenstein: The New Order, the game that's been playing in the background here? You know what the premise of this game is? We lose World War II. Germany takes over almost all of the world. They nuke America. By the same logic, is that not disrespectful for the people that died in World War II to achieve victory? The people that devoted their lives and came back with PTSD and ruined their families or lost their lives and lost their limbs. Is that not disrespectful to make a whole game about us losing that war and being reduced down to a small rebellion in the 60s? And when I say us, I mean the Allies. What about all of the alternate history movies and TV shows that show the Axis winning and destroying us? What about jokes about Hitler? What if jokes about Hitler trivializes the torment that he caused so many people? What about in Call of Duty World War II? We're gonna have Nazi zombies back. Well, does that not trivialize what happened with actual Nazis? Does having Nazi-related monsters take away from the actual sting that Nazis had? Again, I'm just using the logic that states women in Call of Duty World War II's multiplayer or women in Battlefield 1's DLC is a disrespect to history. What about all these other things? Video games, movies, TV shows, books, music, they have creative freedom. And when you come to video games, it is an interactive medium of entertainment built around communities, especially multiplayer games. They're built around communities. They want to cater to people inside of their communities. But people want that narrative of Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty and all these other games and movies pushing some sort of, again, left-wing, third-wave feminism tainted agenda. As much as I don't agree with PC culture, I don't agree with PC paranoia, where it's every time there's a woman involved, every time there's a black main character, or what is this to promote your idea of diversity? Like, who are these people and why do they think this way? Because I don't think they're just racist and sexist. Well, I'm sure there's a decent chunk of them that are. Let's just be honest. Racists exist everywhere. Probably in your neighborhood, your town, your mailman, they're whatever. There's racist, sexist people everywhere. But just because racists exist doesn't mean when you see a movie with an all-white cast or an all-male video game, that doesn't mean those games are racist or sexist. That's just racism paranoia. And again, it's just as bad as, oh, this game has a diverse cast. Oh god, liberals are taking over my Star Wars and my Call of Duty. I can't believe it. In my opinion, it's cool if games want to take a magnifying glass over a small part of history. Female Russian snipers in Battlefield 1, Afro-Germans in World War I, and the women that fought in World War II. If games want to take a magnifying glass and put that over there, I don't think that's a disrespect to history. If anything, it shows a separate side that many people didn't know about. And I don't think the people that are against it are racist. I think they're kind of scared. I think they don't like what's going on socially around the world right now, and I feel like when it comes into our entertainment, there's a lot of pushback that doesn't come from a place of racism. It just kind of comes from a place of fear. It just, I don't know, but I'm sure there is some racism, there's some sexism there, but I don't know. I'm not going to go around accusing people of being sexist or racist. It doesn't get me anywhere. I'm just going to try to be as optimistic as possible. Don't be the guy that's going around Twitter and YouTube saying, if you don't like women in this DLC or you don't like women in this game, you are a sexist, confirmed, sorry neo-Nazi. Don't push these narratives, don't put these labels on people, and don't be paranoid over shit. Personally, in the Battlefield 1 DLC, I think it's kind of weird that they just chose Ven to do it. I kind of think it would be cool if for the multiplayer they just allowed people to play as whatever they wanted, skin color or gender. I think that'd be kind of cool. As long as there's only 2 genders, it's fine. But that's what's kind of cool. When you do this stuff with a multiplayer setting in a historical game, it's playing into the immersion that multiplayer provides. Because multiplayer isn't a strict narrative, it isn't a story, you're not on a set path. You are you as a gamer, and you're fighting other gamers. And I think if a girl wants to be a girl in World War II fighting other guys and girls in World War II, I don't find a problem with that. That's just my personal thing. You can dislike that, it doesn't make you sexist, but I think that's I think it's a cool idea. Because when we go to multiplayer, we're not going to take a history lesson. When you go into multiplayer, you are going to fight other real gamers, and some of those happen to be black people, and women, Asian people. And even if that's not super historically accurate to the war, you have to start asking yourself, well, how historically accurate is this multiplayer anyway? I think multiplayer should be set around fun and community. And I don't think having women in your game is to appease feminists as much as it is to market to the women that like to play your game. But of course, also, when they were real people that fought and died, it's not exactly a negative thing to draw attention to that, no matter how small. But anyway, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And to summarize this video, where do you draw the line on historical inaccuracies? Are games like Wolfenstein New Order fine because of the way they drastically change history, but these other games are not doing it well because they're putting a magnifying glass over a very small part of history? What do you think? Let me know, like, where do you draw the line? And yeah, that's basically the summary of this video. Don't be paranoid, and where do you draw the line? There you go. There's the whole video. Let's put up that thanks for watching screen and cue some groovy music. I'll see you when I see you guys. Goodbye!